Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Coffee, Astrology and Coffee. We're the Academy of Logic and Light. Well, I'm here representing them, and we've got two wonderful teachers here with us. We've got Julie and Elle. We're so excited to have you both today. Just a reminder for everyone, pull up your charts on astro.com, and you can see what you have, where the moon is in your chart, and all the other things we're talking about. You can find there and follow along with us. Today is our moon episode part 1, and we're just super excited. I'll introduce a little bit more about the Academy and then turn our time over to our teachers. So, the Academy of Logic and Light is a community education platform that provides a safe space for people to practice their spirituality without being indoctrinated. So we are really trying to curate our community. We do monthly meetups here in the Salt Lake Valley. If you're interested in coming, you can find out more on our socials. We're on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We have a Facebook group all under the same name, Academy of Logic and Light. You can also find us at academyoflogicandlight.org. And we also have a Patreon. So if you like what you see and you want more content, exclusive content, you can go over to our Patreon and sign up there. We also put out big announcements on our Patreon. So usually before time, and give you a chance to sign up beforehand. But we do have a big announcement today. And that is that we are doing a Samhain retreat this fall in October on the 20th and the 21st. We officially posted everything. The link is down below, so go check it out. We are going to have the price discounted for until the end of August. So if you're interested, head on over there. If you know you're going to sign up, now's the time, because the price is going to go up right now. It is just $333. So if you're interested in that, you can go sign up. And we're super excited. Have a lot of fun stuff planned. They've got agenda and everything over there if you want to read more of what's going to be happening. So anyway, without further ado, I'll turn time over to our astrologers. And have a great morning, you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Megan.
Good morning.
I'm so excited for this retreat.
Oh my gosh, me too. Even if no one shows up and it's just us 4, I'm very happy with that. But I think we're gonna have a lot of people want to sign up.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. All free witchy things, insight, fun activity.
You're doing an astrology, I don't know what to call it, like an introduction,
But I'm also gonna do individual charts for people. So that's gonna be
really exciting.
Steps in your chart. So that in itself is worth $100. So
honestly,
food and the stay and all that. So yeah, I'm super stoked.
And I'm doing my first Connecting with Your Ancestors workshop, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
I've only ever done one-on-one training with it, so a group one will be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait.
Me either. All right. This week we are talking about the moon. She's been playing with us lately. We've been having fun.
Our emotions.
Say what?
Playing with our emotions.
Yeah, for real. And now are we officially in Virgo season yet, or is that tomorrow?
Yeah. What is today? I don't even know what today is. I'm the worst.
Today is August 22nd.
I think tomorrow is Virgo day. I thought it was the 23rd.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, we're getting close. I could feel it. I cleaned my entire house from top to bottom, redid the wards of my house, the whole thing. I'm like, okay, it feels very Virgo-y. Because then it was I cleaned it head to toe, and I'm like, it still doesn't feel clean enough.
Not good enough. Yeah, that's very, very Virgo energy there.
Yeah, all I could do is laugh about that one. Excuse me. All right. The moon describes your responses when pushed up against a wall, and it is your natural emotional response to stress and pressure. Oops. excuse me, the fun facts about that we're going to be talking about, the fun facts of the moon and its associations, elements in and the moon, and the keywords for the moon in each sign. Sometimes saying it out loud is so much different than writing it.
You're right.
We're going to keep, every week I'm going to come back to this because quick cheat sheet, the planet is your what type of essence or energy is it? Your sign is your how do you use that energy? And the house is where does that area in your life show up? So that all three are important for a full view. So you're not just one thing.
A lot of things.
Everyone is a moon and has a dark side that never shows to anyone. By Sybil Leek. The position of the moon in your horoscope is second only to the importance of the position of the sun. The sun is the part of you that is most apparent on the surface. It is what others see. The moon sign is part of you that you see. In astrology, the moon stands for emotions, instincts, and the unconscious, whereas the sun represents your will, the moon represents your instinctive reactions. Okay. Fun facts. The moon rules Cancer and the 4th house. It's exalted in Taurus. Its detriment is Capricorn, and the fall Scorpio, element water, and the time that the moon spends in each day is in each sign is 2.5 days. I always think anytime it's like Cancer, the opposite is Capricorn. It's just
how you.
sense.
Yeah. No, it's anytime I see a Capricorn or Scorpio moon, I'm like, I have 2 children with Scorpio moons, so it's very interesting. It represents mother, so I'm always like, oh no, I'm not emotionally available for them because I lack a lot of water in my chart, and Scorpios, they need that. But I do know that if I say I'm gonna do something, I follow through because those little Scorpio moons will hold on to that for life. Plus, my son's a Capricorn with a Scorpio moon. He's never going to forget. He's mad about a turtle from 20 years ago.
That's honestly just really funny. I'm like looking at everyone's charts right now. I actually have a lot of Capricorn moon friends, which is interesting, and Aquarius moon friends. So it just makes a lot of sense. These are the people I surround myself with.
Yeah.
I feel safe.
One of my best friends is a Scorpio moon. I have a best friend that's her sun and moon are both my polarities. She's an Aries sun, I'm a Libra sun, and she's a Scorpio moon, and I'm a Taurus moon. I'm like,
what's it like going out?
Easy. We just chill. It's flawless. I'm like, we're just opposites attract, I suppose.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
One friend, when we go drinking, I'm like, your Scorpio moon is showing.
Way.
She just gets a little extra crazy. She's like, you want to like fuck up someone's life tonight? And I'm like, oh shit, okay, Scorpio moon coming out to play.
For blood. They're out for blood.
Yeah, it is intense. Influences are emotional temperament, intuition, feminine energy, habits, and needs. Cancer qualities are the healer, the homemaker, and emotional. 4th house qualities are subconscious, home, family, and ancestry. Is there anything
your sun and your moon your sun affects your moon differently. Like I have a Capricorn sun with a Scorpio moon, and then I have a Gemini sun with a Scorpio moon, and where they're both very secretive and very, and we'll kind of go into Scorpio moons, but they both have very different personalities. One is very light, the Gemini, and one is very heavy, the Capricorn. So just remember that your sun does affect and kind of change your moon energy.
Yeah. I have a Capricorn moon with a Libra sun. So there's like that balance of like work and play.
Yeah. Libra moon, Capricorn sun.
Yeah.
That's a nice mix though, because it's fun, responsible.
Yeah, I'm like grateful for my Libra and my Leos in my chart because otherwise Capricorns, we could be boring, but we like secretively devious too.
Yes, for sure.
Basics of the moon is the inner life and the instinctual self. It rules your inner world and tells you how you react under stress. Viewing the moon in your life, the moon's position shares details about your interior life as a person. It shares details about a person's emotional instincts and emotional trends. Archetypes associated with the moon. The physics. Jeez. My coffee is not ready yet. The psychic, the caretaker, the mother. Themes are subtlety, psychic abilities, emotions, magic, compassion, wisdom, intuition, hearth and home, nourishment, security, imagination, patience, empathy, fertility. I'm assuming motherhood and femininity. I don't know, conflict.
You ever just meet like Cancer women and they just to me seem so magical. Like, I don't know, there's just something very magic. They're very sweet and subtle, and I'm just like, I feel like they just know things that most people don't, you know?
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
that thing.
I have some of my Cancer friends have a lot more fire in their charts, so they're a little more not so. Yeah. That.
Mine are I have a Cancer Sun Leo moon. She's feisty, but I have some that are just so like flowy. I know a Cancer Sun Taurus moon, and she's like pure magic.
Oh, Cancer
Like
Sun
nerve
Taurus. That
all the
sounds. Oh yes.
mom.
That sounds delightful.
Oh, and she's amazing. Like her kids, oh, it's just beautiful to watch, really.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Let's see. One way of understanding the meaning of a planet is to become familiar with the mythic attributes and deeds of the god or goddess who shares the same name. This archetypal approach reaches back into the heart of astrological origins that predicted upon the divine nature of planetary energy. Like that was a lot. Okay.
Mouthful.
Now I hope I don't ruin any of this, but I will try to pronounce them out loud and not embarrass myself again. Moon goddess. There are many goddesses who represent the moon. Rome associated it with the goddess Selene, who watches over the sleep of mortals, then Artemis and Diana as the virgin huntress of the new moon and overseer of childbirth. Okay, Chang'e, in the Chinese goddess of the moon, is associated with the Mid-Autumn Festival.
If it makes you feel any better, I don't know if you're saying it wrong or right. So it's your chill time.
Before you hopped on, Megan was like, "Here's how you say them." I'm like, "Okay, I'll try to remember."
You get
Don't mess it up. Okay, so this was super interesting to me while I was making the slides. I never really, I just kind of sometimes skip the element parts because you're like, oh, moon, and you go straight deep into the zodiac and totally forget about the elements. But this was super interesting. If your moon is in a water sign, you are highly sensitive, your body responds to your instinct, and your intuition requires time out. It's okay to cry, and once you return to calm, you are very instinctual and authentic. It's okay to pull away from people to get calm, but not for too long.
Yeah. So water signs in the moon area of the chart, you think of all like the water energy, the depth. There's deepness that goes so far down, and especially, like Scorpio, they really need their time alone. Same with Pisces. Like if they don't get that time away and like really regroup, then it's very detrimental for them. I would say Cancers too, but more so the Scorpio and Pisces side of things. And we're, like I said, we're going to go into each one, but the water, I think the having a water moon, I think would be kind of cool because it also amplifies intuition. Because your moon is like already intuitive, but when you have a water sign who it just kind of like double whammies that, and it's really cool to see and just to kind of know like, okay, I can really trust and guide through this intuition because you can just trust it because they're always accurate. So
yeah,
I always like a water moon.
Yeah, it feels like it would be like very intense during full moons.
Yeah. I have 3 children with water moons, and they do not sleep with full moons. Like they
Oh,
move the night, and it's very like I've noticed that since they were little.
interesting. I mean, that makes sense. My cats don't sleep
either. Yeah, they're like,
running around.
This energy.
If your moon is in a fire sign, your emotional realm is reactive, dramatic, and impulsive. It is so very important to be able to say you're sorry after you explore. And equally important that you feel free to defend and express what others are thinking, but don't have the courage to say.
I think this would be my least favorite. Like I wouldn't want fire moon. No offense to anyone who has it. You might have things that really work out in your chart. I have a Sagittarius sun with an Aries moon, and his really seems to align because he's not like over the top. But I just feel like fire energy is so dramatic and so it's detached from emotions a little bit. You know, they feel, but it's more of like passion and just extreme versus like, you know, taking it in and sitting and just like processing. That's not their first instinct. It takes a minute for a fire moon to like really process. So if you have a fire moon, hopefully you don't explode and react. And if you do, maybe just try to figure out a way to like calm yourself. Maybe go for a run or something that can get you like physically moving, and that way that can help kind of bring down that energy, because I can imagine this being very difficult.
Yeah, volcanic, like explosive. You could probably ruin some friendships.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Some people's lives, you know, or their feelings. I'm just saying.
Yeah. This was interesting to me because mine's a Libra, so moon in the air. If your moon is an air sign, you have to process out loud. You are allowed to seek counsel because therapy is a tool for you. Asking you not to talk about your feelings will shut down your whole system. You are prone to detachment and cutting off your feelings by talking about emotions and not feeling them. Yeah, I wish I like knew this earlier.
You're like, counseling is so good for me. A therapist is so good for me.
Yeah, my therapist was like, "You're doing fine. Like, we don't like have to meet as often." I was like, "I need monthly check-ins. I need to tell you about all of the gossip because I need to process it."
In a very educated, understanding kind of way. Well, I was just
Yeah,
saying,
to a neutral third party.
yes, yeah. Well, I have a Taurus daughter with an Aquarius moon, and I was just saying how she is kind of going through it. And I'm like, I was reading this and I was like, maybe I should find her a good therapist, because I
Yeah,
think that would be her to like talk it out and kind of like, you know, she talks it out with me, but it's also like, oh, I don't want to tell my mom that. So these people, these air energies, we're light, we're very like flowy, but we also do have feelings, and we do need to process them. So you talking about them, explaining them, writing them out, and you know, things like that can be very helpful for air energy in the moon.
yeah.
In the moon.
Yeah, I think I had like such an issue before, like I really understood therapy or whatever like that. I would be like processing a drama that happened with these two friends to my other two friends, but then it turned into like more gossip. And I'm like, I'm not gossiping. I'm trying to process my feelings.
And then you feel like an asshole because you're like, no, I've said this to them, and then you feel that guilt, and it's like, I want to talk about it. Yeah, a
Yeah,
therapist is really where it's at.
yeah, it is exactly where it's at. Earth signs. If the moon is in an earth sign, you are reasonable and logical. People depend on you because you're so solid and stable. Your emotional realm is often overlooked by your attention to your feelings as a practice. This will promise a reciprocal relationship because the attention is not just on others, you will become the receiver as well as the giver.
I love an earth moon. I know like Capricorn isn't like the most favorable, but I mean, think about it like, I mean, mine is Taurus. I guess I love my moon because I feel like my moon is practical, and I'm so level headed, and it's so like easy because it's like, okay, there's a solution. I feel like earth signs are just such solution oriented people that when you have an earth sign in your moon, it's just kind of like you're very practical, and it's like, okay, well, what's the solution?
Yeah. Yeah, Amanda's a an earth sign moon, and she's like the best person ever to travel with. She's got it all planned out. She's like an Aries with that Capricorn moon. Like we're logical. We plan. Like we've got it figured out to a T. It's
I
amazing.
love it. Yeah, because they're just great. I have a Gemini bestie with a Virgo moon, and I'm a Libra with a Taurus moon. I mean, we vibe so well, and we're both just like practical. We both think the same. We handle emotions the same. We're never like, ah! It's always like, okay, well,
Love
let's.
that.
It's great. It's having an Earth moon, I feel like, is just a nice, easy, sometimes placement.
Yeah, that seems delightful, and that's funny. Like most of my friends are earth
Earth,
moons.
you need that.
Yeah. All right. So if you haven't followed us on Instagram yet, you'll see half of the moon and their signs, the bright side and the dark side. And so we can kind of go through these. But actually, Elle, I think I'll let you.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Like, they can read this on the Instagram.
yeah. So Aries moon. I mean, this is very, I mean, impulsive. Yes, very much. They're energetic. They have a lot of energy. They It's honestly probably a harder placement for a moon. But like I said, I have a son who's a Sagittarius and he's an Aries moon and he's actually a Gemini rising and he really is chilling. So if you have a lot of things in your chart, this could be a really good placement. You know, energetic, like I said, he's very optimistic, positive. But on the downside, you could be very arrogant and opinionated, demurring, all those things. So Aries in a moon placement, just try to relax a little bit because there is that fire, there is a lot of energy. Just brace yourself, it's going to be okay. Try not to explode, try not to cause war with friends or be mean to people. Just Aries moon.
Take a breath.
Yes.
Like, stop, think about your feelings before you express them.
Yes. Sit down, go for a jog, you know, get that energy out and then back to us. Taurus moon. Like I said, love my Taurus moon. I feel like I don't think anyone can really match my loyalty. I'm going to say that. I really honestly think I'm the most loyal friend. I won't talk shit about you. If somebody's talking shit about you, I'm going to let them know real quick. Like, I'm not the one. Like, in relationships, I've never cheated. I'm like such a loyal human to my people that it's like to a fault. And my daughter, I see that in her too. She's a Taurus sun though. But I definitely true to the core loyalty. I'm very practical and I would say warm and affectionate. I think that Taurus moons, you know, we like comfort. So just be careful if you're a Taurus moon, not to be too snacky. You know, tend to snack and maybe not exercise as much. So for physical health, you might want to make sure that you're being active, keeping your, you know, energy up by snacks, but also exercise. That would be some advice I would give there. Overcautious. I never really thought of myself as overcautious until I had kids. I feel like I became more like, oh my gosh, like coddling in a way of like, oh, but I've had to learn to step out of that because I do have a Sagittarius rising. So it's kind of like, oh, you fell and busted your head open. It's fine. You're going to be fine. Like, get up and be strong. So there's that. But just make sure that if you have a Taurus moon, you are not overindulging, not being oversensitive. That can be a thing too. I get really sensitive in my feels sometimes, so don't take everything so personal. But it's a good placement. I love Taurus moon. So
Yeah, I don't have anyone in my secret binder of friends over here. Not one Taurus moon, but now I know you. I need to put your chart in here.
Yeah, put my chart in there. Taurus moon, Gemini. So I always say like the air signs in the moon area are a little more difficult just because air is so free and flowy and there's not a lot of feelings there. But Gemini, um, it's not one of my favorites. Honestly, they can be very anxious. They have this nervousness to them that I feel like that Gemini ruled by Mercury in the moon area. I feel like the energy there is just too much for them, the feelings and just not able to process it. But they can be very witty. If you know how to channel or evolve that anxiousness, then you can become, you know, lively and amusing is kind of what we put in there, but they definitely have this way about them that could be very charismatic, and the way that they communicate with people you could pull people in with your words and really entice people that way. But I think you have to get past that, evolve past the anxiety driven, because that's what I see a lot in Gemini moons is that they're anxious and that it's just a hard placement sometimes. So but flexible, they're definitely flexible, and speaking about their feelings. They're very capable of talking about how they feel and expressing themselves in that way. So that's nice because some people, you meet people that are like, what are you feeling? Like, I can't, it's not coming out. I don't think, I kind of am like that. When I'm feeling something, it's coming out, but it's not really making sense. Like, what I'm saying isn't aligning with how I'm feeling. It's like a bunch of mumbo jumbo. So Gemini moons do not have this problem. They're very good at communicating how they're feeling. Cancer moons, this one's one of my favorites. I have a Cancer moon baby. They can be very emotional, but they also can be protective. This is a good placement indicating like a good relationship with your mother. So this made me happy when my baby came out Cancer moon, because I was like, oh, she's gonna love me. It's gonna be great. But yeah, the emotional, it's where the moon, Cancer is ruled by the moon, so this just like fits like a glove. It just kind of, they know how to handle their emotions, they know how to process them, they accept their feelings. Like some people have a hard time accepting it, and Cancer moons really get it. They're like, okay, I'm feeling this, and this is why, and they process it, and they have this intuition too that kind of drives them. And it doesn't make their emotions like heavy and daunting. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, well, I'm feeling this, and they work through it. So really good placement for a moon. It's where the moon belongs. Cancer's ruled by the moon, and so it just kind of jives well with your emotions.
That makes sense. I don't have any Cancer moon friends.
No?
Nope.
All right, Leo moons. This is kind of what I wanted Salem to be, was a Leo moon, because she's and I was like, a Leo moon would make sense. She'll be strong. She'll be independent. She'll be, creative, all these things. Because I didn't want her to be too much water and be this big emotional little creature, because her father and I are not. We have no water in our heart. So, but, these people are prideful. They're hard workers. They're kind of grounded, fun-loving, very affectionate. But they also can be self-centered, indulgent, and they can kind of be a bully. Leos typically can be bully energy because, they just have that masculine, I'm the best energy. And so that sometimes can be overbearing, conceited, all those things. So, but it's not a bad placement to have. I mean, it's definitely a stronger energy, confidence. I have a Cancer sun friend with a Leo moon. She's very confident, very direct. She doesn't even really give off so much Cancer energy. She does a little bit, but I can sense that she has the strength to her. And the moon, you got to keep in mind, the moon is not something you're going to see someone and say, oh, you're a Cancer moon, you're a Leo moon, because it's so hidden. It's who they are internally, but you see it the longer you're friends with that person, you'll see it kind of shine out a little bit more. It's not something you can detect right off the bat. You have to get to know that person to their core in order to understand and see their moon. And then Virgo moons, like I said, the earthy babies when they're moons are very good to have. So they're critical. They can judge harshly. I mean, I definitely, they're very particular on who they surround themselves with. These moons are cautious about people. If you're loosey-goosey, flighty, unorganized, a mess, it's not very likely that they're going to stay in your circle for very long, because they like structure and they like to feel that their friends have it together, because then that kind of makes them feel like they have it more together. And you are who you surround yourself with. These are the moons that really take that in consideration. So definitely responsible, organized, just a lot of energy there with that. They can be critical, high strung. I mean, they stress out. It's that Mercury energy again I was talking about. Gemini, Virgo is ruled by Mercury as well, and I think Mercury energy with the moon just kind of is unsettling in a way. It's like Virgo moon is good, but they also can be very anxious. They can be very same Gemini kind of energy, that anxious kind of not really sure how to deal with the emotions kind of energy. But if they can evolve through that, they can, really be well put together and just have their shit together.
That makes sense.
Libra moons. This is you, my husband. You guys are sweethearts. He's a Gemini sun, so it's going to be that different energy. But I know that these people do not like, they don't like drama. They don't like confrontation. They like drama. If it's not their drama, it's okay. But if it's drama, it's like it raffles them. Like it just totally shakes their little worlds up. So these are very balanced people. They love justice. They love happiness. They love friendships. They like when things are aesthetically pleasing. Like they like the beauty of things. When things are, I was just doing a reading for someone. She was a Libra moon. I was trying to explain to her if she could figure out a way to meditate, she needs to make sure that it smells nice, that the area is nice, that it's clean, that the sounds are nice, like this beauty. Libra's ruled by Venus, the goddess of beauty. So everything around you when you're trying to meditate and get in that space needs to be beautiful. Like the smell needs to be nice, everything. So Libras are just, they have that very unique thing about them, especially in the moon area. It's just it's a good one to have. Just, it's easily to ruffle them up because they don't like things to be, you know,
Don't
drawn.
like chaos and injustice.
Yeah, exactly. They can be indecisive though. Oh my gosh. I don't
That's
know about,
actually the best part about me being a Capricorn. So I don't really have a whole lot of indecisiveness.
oh my goodness. My poor Gemini husband with Libra moon. It is like we're blind leading the blind over here trying to figure out what we're going to eat for dinner. I'm telling you, it's
Oh, if you ask me about food, I'm always indecisive, but it's not pasta or tacos. Those are really the best ones.
yeah. No, we're always struggling on deciding. Self-indulgent again. So Taurus ruled by Venus, Libra ruled by Venus together, they can be self-indulgent. That's that snack all you want, but also exercise kind of thing. But yeah, and these moons are also very inconsistent. They change a lot. You're one day you're feeling this, the next day you're feeling that. Like it's hard for some people to keep up with. Like my Taurus moon with the Libra moon is sometimes challenging because I'm like consistent in my shit, and the person I'm with is like, oh, I think I'm gonna do this now, and I'm like, whoa, we talked about this. I thought you were doing this, but it's part of like just learning to jive with that person. But yeah, they can be pretty inconsistent.
That makes sense.
So checks out. Scorpio moons. When I say mysterious and secretive, I cannot express that enough. I have two children, very different sun signs, same moon sign, and they are equally as secretive. They have this little darkness to them. You don't see it as much in my son. He hides it well. He's a Capricorn sun, but my Gemini, I've talked about her before, my Gemini daughter with the Scorpio moon, Tim Burton all the way. Animated, it's colorful, but it's dark. It's dark. Things she finds funny, I'm like, Mackenzie, that's not funny. Like, that's messed up. And she also, I'm gonna throw this out there, all of her crushes seem to have the same trend. They're all serial killers. On this. We've really got to work on this because she's obsessed with Scream. I know that's like a new trendy thing, but she loves Matthew Lillard. He's like 50. She's in love with him. I'm like,
Matthew Willard?
yes.
Oh my
I'm like, that's and the other guy in the Scream, the other murderer. And I make this joke and I'm like, Kenzie, I was like, your crushes, and I talked about her crush, and she's like, my first crush was Chucky. I'm like, oh god. Scorpio moon for you. They love the darkness. They love the heaviness. I don't get it. Whatever. But I was
like the opposite of Libra.
yeah. They're just very, and my son is kind of the same. He has these things that he finds very funny that I'm like, that's really fucked up, Thomas. Oh, no, it's not funny. So, I don't know. The humor of a Scorpio moon, I will never understand. And I'm a Taurus moon. Maybe it's because we're polarities. I don't know. But it's just, let's look. Where's the bright side? Maybe I should read into this. They do have great imaginations. They're very determined. Like my son's determination is unmatched. Ambitious, emotional, yes, very emotional, and idealistic. Now on the darker side, secretive, 100%. Resourceful. Oh, resentful. I'm like, resourceful is positive, but yes, they're resentful too. I can't read either. It's fine.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
I know. Resentful, 100%. Like, oh yeah, and they hold a little grudge. Especially that Capricorn sun. He will be mad for life about something that makes no sense, but whatever.
That's amazing.
If you choose to spend your energy on, Thomas, go right ahead.
Oh, that's funny. My friend, she's the Scorpio moon. Where I always say that Scorpio should be like FBI agents. Like they are resourceful as well. She will find anyone on the internet. I'm like, dang, you should make this a profession. It's impressive.
Yeah. Hire you to find people.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. would put money on a Scorpio. Anything.
Oh, for sure. Sagittarius moons. These are another little fire that I would be like, just breathe before you react. Although I do have a Cancer friend with a Sagittarius moon, and she is delightful. So I don't know if that maybe that balances out the Cancer and the feelings and all the things and the Scorpio. She's really fun. Honestly, she's one of the funniest people that I know. And so I would say these are like comedian types. Like if you have a Sagittarius moon, you've got that, funny thing that just kind of comes out. But it takes time. She wasn't funny when I first met her. She was very serious. Over time, I'm like, okay.
That makes sense though, because you got to get to know her.
That's how you get to know her. And I'm like, oh, you're actually kind of funny. Who thought? No. But adventurous, these people like to go on adventures. It really feeds their soul. So it's like things, when you think of your moon and what it does, it's internal. It's you. It's who you are to the core. And it's like, so things like getting in nature, for some people it's being in the ocean, being in the mountains, whatever that is for you, it can really charge your battery, charge your, soul, and get you like really excited and really happy. So they can be restless, careless, also uncommitted. I definitely see that a lot with Sagittarius moons, because Sagittarius is such a free energy, and so in an area of like emotions, it's kind of hard to lock down one emotion. It's like you feel all these things, and so it's to stay with like one person sometimes can be hard for this person because they're so eccentric in a way in different areas of like how they feel. It changes often, not quite like I would say a Gemini, but they're just so curious about a lot of things. So this can be an area where being tied down can be very difficult for these people sometimes. And then Capricorn moons, Earth, self-control, patience. These people are, I would say, well-rounded, very patient, and they are very structured. These people are very good at not getting overwhelmed with things, knowing how to handle and process and break problems down in a very strategic way. They can be pessimistic. These people, this tend to be very glass half empty types because they're practical and, they've gone through a lot of things, probably hold a little grudge, kind of like that Scorpio moon, but they typically don't let things go very easily. So be careful not to hold on to that. If you have a Capricorn moon, make sure that you're letting things go that no longer serve you. You're the one holding that energy, not other people. So
I have said that a lot to my Capricorn moon friends.
Let it go. Sing a little song from Frozen and get over it, because
yeah,
not doing anything hurting you.
Real old shit we're holding on to.
That's a Capricorn. I don't feel like maybe you so much. Maybe your Libra moon lightens you up a lot, but Capricorns, they never forget, and they can be so like, oh, this happened to me at this point in time in my life, and they really dwell on it. And so unless you evolve through that, that's some Capricorn energy there.
Yeah, definitely.
You're like, I'm working through it. Aquarius moons. If I had to pick where I would least want my moon to be, I'm sorry. I feel so bad for Aquarius moons. First off, they're reactive. They don't know how to handle their emotions. They fly off the handles the second something goes sideways. I mean, they come back later and they're like, I'm sorry, I didn't really think about this, but it's just very a hard placement. Aquarius is not a feeler. They are very logical. They think, and they're kind of lacks tact. I don't know. There's just so much going on with the Aquarius energy in the moon department that it's like, like that's got to be hard. You got to evolve through that because a lot of times it stresses you out so bad, especially when you have an earth sun or a lot of earth placements. It can just be so overwhelming because you're like, oh, I have all these emotions and you don't know how to handle it. Like, earth energy and the moon, it's like, yeah, they don't do great with feelings because they're very practical, but they know how to break it down in a way that's like, oh, okay, let's do this, this, and this, and they kind of have a plan. Aquarius doesn't have that. Aquarius is just like, oh, it's all going to hell and shit, and I don't know how to fix it. You gotta work through that Aquarius moons. You gotta, like, get your shit together. No, it's not the end of the world. Stop reacting so abrasively. They're so abrasive. Depending on your sun, of course. But I find that Aquarius moons are very reactive and abrasive when they react. So,
Both of my friends who are Aquarius moons have Earth sign placements in the sun and their Mercury, so it's like a little more even, right?
okay, that's nice because I know three Earth signs: a Taurus, Capricorn, and a Virgo. All Aquarius moons. I need to look at their Mercuries and all the other things.
Yeah.
Oh, my daughter is a Taurus sun with an Aries Mercury. I know that for sure. They fly off the handles. They fly off. I've seen it. Like, I'm just like, with all of them. And I'm like, you're an earth sign. But then I'm like, oh, Grace Moons,
Makes a big difference.
you're struggling there. Because it's very, I learned this at an early age when I started knowing with Aquarius Moons just fly off the handles. Best way I can describe it. So unless you've evolved through that, maybe you have, or maybe you have other placements that really protect that and help it go through the logical way of thinking versus the emotional way of thinking. But definitely something to work on. Unpredictable, aloof. Their opinions are their opinions, their thoughts. It's really hard to change the way they think. Like, they're right. They're very like black and white personalities. I mean, it's just tactless. Very, very well.
Tactless.
Right. Yeah.
The best part, my one friend with the Aquarius moon, she's got the other signs, but we did her, we did her Sagittarius, I think. No, wow. We did her Saturn, and multiple times was like shrewd. And I was like, wow.
Valid. I mean,
Shrewd. I was like, wow, twice that word in two different books. That's wild.
I've never seen that before. I work on that now.
Oh man.
Evolving and learning. So like a lot of times when I see an Aquarius moon that's really like got it together and not reactive, I'm like, oh, you've evolved through some things. You've worked through some things. I can sense that. So there's always that too.
Yeah.
So,
both of mine are like 25 degrees and 20 degrees in their Aquarius moon journeys.
okay, see, that's nice. When you get like that 5 to 7 mark, you're like,
yeah.
wait, this person like the plague. All right. Moving on to Pisces moons. Pisces moons, depending on the sun, have a challenge in themselves. I mean, these people feel Pisces. I mean, aside from Megan, she's my exception to the rule because she has a Pisces sun. She's got a lot going on. She is like well put together, just has her shit together, and really doesn't struggle with the things that I see. But I see a lot of Pisces moons struggling with addiction because they're trying to escape these emotions. They feel so much, and they don't only just feel their emotions, they feel everyone's emotions. So
that would be hard.
Yeah, they don't even know how to process it. I mean, how do you process some stuff that you're feeling that you don't even know where it's coming from? Like, it's very challenging. My best advice to a Pisces moon is to really dig deep and try to understand what is yours. Try to, when you have a feeling versus when you're feeling somebody else's something, really try to figure out how to like figure out what is yours and what is not yours. Because when you're feeling so much, it's important to understand that like kicking back or not processing something that's not yours is okay. You need to process yours, but other people's shit you don't need to process. You need to figure out how to like bounce that back. So get a little onyx stone, get some sort of stones to protect, keep you shielded from other people's, because these are true empaths that can't help but feel everything. And so a lot of times they turn to substance because that is the only way that they can really not feel and not have all of the things hitting them. So my heart goes out to Pisces moons because I do know that that's so heavy for them. They can be very sensitive, compassionate. So these are like great things that they have, but they also can be very because it's like, again, they're being hit with so much that they're like, I can't even, like, they don't even want to engage in anything because it's too much. So just try to pull yourself together. Not your feelings. They have great intuition. I mean, that's good. That's good and bad. Their intuition's almost like so spot on that it's like too much to where they don't trust anyone, because you know what? No one's perfect. We all have these weird things about us. I'm not saying that like we're all bad, but we all might have bad, and they can pick up on everything. So it's like, oh, it's hard for them to like really connect with people. So Pisces moons, I think,
That'd be
are
hard.
yeah, but they have it hard. Like they have it hard in a different way that an Aquarius moon does. Like, Aquarius moons react, and Pisces moons are just sitting there feeling everything. So just protect yourself, Know that your feelings are valid. Try not to dwell in them. They can go down the rabbit hole with emotions sometimes, and they can kind of get into this pity party, like, oh, everything happens to me kind of attitude. And so just be careful and be aware that that can happen. So Pisces moons, you guys got it rough, but it's a good placement. I mean, again, that intuition, it's good to feel. They're okay with feelings. They just need to learn how to just feel their own and not everybody else's.
Yeah, that's rough. That is it for today.
We made it.
Yeah, we did. And honestly, like, I'm pretty impressed with that. We are always right around this 47, 50-minute mark, and we don't even plan this.
No,
We're getting good. And
I
then
know.
next week, we're doing the houses.
Read the notes, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to show up and just have fun about whatever.
I was like, I'm like an old school librarian with all these books, like collecting data, putting it all into like Word documents and slide sheets. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like a librarian over here. It's hilarious.
Capricorn life passion.
Yeah, I'm about to like go on a plane, and I'm gonna carry like this giant binder and all the books with me. And I'm like, it's okay, it's fine. It's fine.
Have your glasses and your hair pulled up like that, and you were like librarian to the T.
Yeah. Some people are into that.
You might find your future next.
I'm not ready.
You never know.
You never know, and that's the most annoying part. It's when you don't know, and then it's like, oh, hello, and I'm like, no, I'm having fun now.
I'm not doing this today.
Leave me alone.
I'll have fun in LA. That's going to be super fun. I'm excited.
Hey. Yeah, me too. I've got everything. Well, I'm not even packed. I haven't told my friend. I'm like, it's the stuff sitting around on the floor. It's fine.
It's well on its way to being packed, but it's just not there.
It's in the phase 1 of packing where I pull out my favorite things and put them in piles and then see what fits.
Yeah, I love it.
Three packing phases. So okay, yeah. So this week we did the kind of a little bit of the signs, or a little bit like we did the signs in this, and then next week we'll be doing houses and an introduction to the moon with aspects, which is always fun too. And then, of course, check out our Instagram and our Facebook because we have exciting things coming. And our Patreon is where we'll be having all of these previous classes so that you can just sit down and literally learn as much astrology as you can in a day.
Yeah, it's free information. Why not?
If I would have paid for a class that was like structured like this, I would have been so much farther in my journey if I had this from the beginning.
Yeah, this has taken me like 15, 20 years to gather all this. And so it's like the research and the resource classes and everything that I've done. It's like, I'm just handing it on a platter for, if you just take the time to watch it. So
yeah, it's like basically Spanish 101, but astrology.
Yeah.
It is like learning a new language.
It-
So it is a lot. And we will be repetitive because that's the best way to learn.
Yeah. So if you're over it, just keep watching.
Tune back next week. You never know.
There might be something different.
Yeah, and I know we've been talking about doing astrology after dark soon, and so we'll announce that as we get closer, but that one's going to be a super fun one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everyone's looking forward to that. So anyways, thanks everyone for this week. Thank you, Elle and Megan, and everyone who showed up, and we will see you guys next Tuesday.
All right. Bye.
Bye.